Hello, beautiful people. Welcome and welcome back to Thrive Out Loud. Thank you so much for tuning in today. As always, it's a pleasure sitting here sharing a little bit of me with you. One episode at a time. First things first, house rules. In here we like, we comment. We comment. Subscribe, click on the bell notifications, and tell a friend to tell another friend to bring on some popcorn. So, hey, today Mutuzami looking all short, but I feel like a fraud. I have a confession to make. I feel like a bit of a fraud, and this feeling has been digging its way into my bosoms for a very long time. I feel like in as much as I sit on here and I preach about getting out of our way, getting out of your own way, because I haven't, and being about yourself and being confident. And I feel like I come on here and I'm just so energetic, bringing on this good energy about how we should be about ourselves, how we should, pursue our passions, pursue the stuff that lights our souls on fire, and, not allow anyone to get in our way. But I feel like in as much as I believe that, I haven't been practicing it actively, and it makes me feel like that bad friend, that bad friend that's gonna tell you, no friend, it's water, akanti earring morning. So I feel like that bad friend who advises you on something and then doesn't follow through on it. For a couple of months now, hey man, it's not even a couple of months. This has been, I don't even have an excuse. I don't have a reason. But I feel like in as much as I preach about confidence, I preach about pursuing your purpose even without validation, and I speak about, just following through with your vision, following it through to the end diligently and with discipline to the end. I'm afraid it's a thing I haven't been doing, and it's eating me alive. It's chowing me alive. When I was still employed, the one thing I used to complain so much about was how I don't have time to do anything. I don't have time. There's no time. I'm an 8-to-5er and I don't have time. But you won't believe that I was doing more then than I am right now that I have the freedom of time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying being a homemaker, a home exec. I'm enjoying being a home exec. I'm loving it. Cooking dinners, the best. But I just feel like I am betraying myself and not following through on the things that I had promised myself I would follow through on should I ever get, a free day. Now my days are free all the time and I'm not doing it. And it makes me so mad. It makes me berserk. The one thing I'm happy that I am following through on is this YouTube channel. I'm still so dedicated to it, publishing consistently and, putting the word out there. But I feel like I could make more noise about it, but I'm just not. For instance, if you just checked my Instagram homepage, my Instagram page, there's nothing on there about my YouTube channel besides the stories that I've now put in the highlights. But if you just check the normal feed, if you just scroll on there's nothing about Thrive Out Loud, the YouTube channel. Nothing about it. I know I make a lot of noise about it on WhatsApp and, sharing with my contacts, but I feel like that's not enough, I feel like, yes, on its own, it'll pick up pace, and on its own, it'll gain momentum, and the right people will find it. But I feel like after discovering something you love, something you like doing, I feel like I'm not doing justice to it, and that needs to stop, because I'm all about, getting out of our way, but here I am standing in my own way. So, but in terms of the YouTube channel, not all is lost. Let me put it that way. I'm doing my part, just not 100%. And then there's the podcast, and this is where things start to go downhill, because nothing makes sense from this point. You might even want to slap me at the end of this video, but stick with me. There's a podcast. It is also called Thrive Out Loud. It's just the podcast, and it's available on all streaming platforms, all of them, It's there on Apple Podcasts, it's there on Spotify, Google Podcasts, on Deezer, on iHeartRadio, you name them. It's on all of them. But not this girl getting in her own way again. So the thing is, I wanted the YouTube channel and the podcast to have lives of their own. In as much as I could easily upload a video on here and then, extract the audio and upload it as a podcast episode, I just feel like that's not what I want. That's not what I intended on doing with the podcast. And also, I just feel like the podcast gives a different listening experience as opposed to YouTube, where you can watch cuteness overload. I know, but I just feel like, I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. I just feel like with the podcast, because I use different recording equipment when I'm recording, because now this is my phone, I've plugged on like a lav mic, I hope it's working this time, and a ring light. It's different as opposed to when I'm recording my podcast. I also prefer to sit in a different space in the house when I'm recording my podcast episodes, and I use a separate mic, which gives a whole nother listening experience. But those could also be excuses I'm making for myself, because I easily could extract the audio from this video that I'm recording and upload it on my podcast as well, but I'm not doing it. As a result, I found it easier to, I've leaned more towards the YouTube space than, the podcast space, in as much as I'm doing both. And it makes me mad because I started with the podcast. I initially just wanted to be a podcaster.
Are you serious? In this house.
My heart was in podcasting. I even entered the Standard Bank Be Unboxed thingy, and I won it, and it came with this amazing podcasting kit. And if you ask me today, why are you not recording and publishing podcast episodes? I don't know. Simple answer. I don't know. This is me being honest, being as vulnerable as I can, and just coming forward to say, guys, you need to call me out on my because it needs to stop. There's no reason why I can batch record YouTube videos and not do the same for podcast episodes and not publish, because I'm so diligent on the YouTube space, but on the podcast it's crickets, and it's wrong. The third one, like I said, it keeps getting worse. The third one is my blog. It's called Loving You Better. You can also access it, lovingyoubetter.co.za. You'll find it. And it came about, I think, sometime in 2020, I think. That's when, it came about. That's when I created it myself. And I realized I have a love for website design, graphic design, and for writing, right? So I'd normally just have happy fingers, maybe once or twice a week, just pour out my heart on the keyboard, and whoever it reaches, then it reaches to. Just that, unlike YouTube, the blogging space is a bit slower on growth, because we are busy, and not everyone has like a good 10 minutes or 5 minutes to sit and read. In as much as it might be helpful, it might be insightful, it might be inspirational, not everyone, allows themselves that time to sit and read a whole blog post or an article. Not everyone, unless, people that are really avid readers. But, when it comes to blogging, then, it doesn't reach as many people as YouTube reaches or the podcast could reach. I mean, in my experience, that's what I've seen. And there was AdSense on there, and you know what? It was funny looking up, And then it got to a point where I was going through, I'd say, a depressive episode at work, and it affected everything, really. I didn't want to participate in anything, even the stuff that makes me happy. Nothing made me happy at that point. I didn't want to participate. I didn't want. And I'm a person who's obsessed with, order and consistency and round numbers. And like, if I told myself I'm going to upload every single Monday morning at 8 a.m., I expect myself to upload every single Monday morning at 8 a.m. So if I'm unable to do so, I beat myself so hard, and it's hard to come back to that. So after that episode, I easily could have picked up from where I left off. I think I tried once or twice to pick up from where I left off, but the feeling was not the same, and I just felt like I had let myself down so much, and I felt like there's no coming back from it. The blog still exists, it's still very much alive, and it's still up and running, and it still has daily visitors, but I just feel like for someone who was blogging away every evening, like I was here just drafting up new articles to publish like every week or twice a week or so, and having lost that bit of, I'd say, inspiration, it became harder and harder to get back to it. But like I said, now I am finally free of a toxic environment.
What is the reason why I am not blogging?
Why am I not here? Why? Because now I own my time. I'm free for like a majority of the day. What's the reason? Understand? So, but like I said, you guys might want to slap me at the end of this video, and I'll totally get it. I'll totally get it. And I'm also mad at myself because I keep preaching about how you can do it. You can take over the world, and then I'm not taking over the world. Number 4, and I feel like this is the biggest betrayal to me and to whoever has been part of it. And you know what? Number 4 is the fitness community that I started sometime last year. I think I launched it on the, I'll say launched. It was a launch to me. 1st of September 2021, I came public. It became public. I made it public, yes. It became public knowledge, There's a fitness community called Too Fit to Quit. If you check it out, you will find it. And if you ask me why, it's just there and nothing's happening, I don't have an answer. I don't have a response. So basically, I came up with this idea sometime during the early days of my maternity leave, shortly after the birth of my son. And looking at my body, I didn't like what I saw. I didn't love what I saw, and I knew I could get it to a point where I loved what I saw, where I liked myself. I didn't like myself. And not to shine a negative light on pregnancy and motherhood, and just loving all your different curves. I'm all about loving your beautiful self and being kind to self. But I was finding it hard to be kind to self if I didn't like the skin I was in. I didn't like what I saw, and that's when I decided to make an intentional choice, an intentional decision to start working my butt off to get to a point where I liked it. So obviously the mom belly had to go, and I just wanted to regain my strength. I needed to regain my core strength. I needed to regain strength all around, especially my arms. When you're a mom, your arms and your back are always working. So I didn't want to be this mom that's always huffing and puffing after changing a nappy because my back hurts and all of that. So I made an intentional decision to start working on my holistic health. I don't even want to say it's just like physical health. It's not just a physical health movement. It's all about holistic wellness, but obviously the fitness taking the forefront. Without your physical health, without your fitness, you cannot enjoy all the other aspects of health that you work so hard to achieve. With all the money in the world, if you're always bedridden, you cannot enjoy your money. With all the relationships you can find, all the bestest of friends, and a great loving relationship and a great family, if you're always bedridden, when do you enjoy the fruits of all of those relationships? You get what I mean? So, but I started intentionally working on that because I felt like if I am able to treat myself with kindness and work hard to get to a point where I now appreciate the work I've put in, then it'll be easier to be kinder to myself and to others. And that's where Too Fit to Quit was born. So I'd say I basically had 2 kids at the same time. And I initially started it as a fitness movement for women, but it has since gained a little bit of traction with the guys as well. But again, I'm not doing justice to it. I'm basically not telling anyone about it. Anyone who doesn't ask, I'm not saying anything. If you check my Instagram, there's nothing on there, like besides quotes and my workouts, my own personal workouts that I do in the gym. There is nothing really that says, hey, this is what I'm doing and I feel like it might benefit you. And that is where I, again, am betraying myself, because Why? Why? I took all the time creating a website, creating an e-commerce store, creating different packages, pricing the packages, and all of that just to sit on literally a pot of gold. And I feel like that's one of the biggest injustices I'm doing to myself, because like I said, I don't know why I'm not like advertising, for instance. I don't know why there's zero marketing on, Too Fit to Quit. I don't know why I'm not, coming up with fitness stuff that, will, get people talking. Because when I came up with this concept, I thought it might be a great idea to have like daily workouts. It could be virtual, could be physical, daily workouts, meal plans, a community of ladies, like-minded ladies that are going to push one another, that are going to, encourage one another to keep working on their goals, their fitness goals, and, working to the best version of yourself, the best possible version that you want for yourself. But none of that is happening. I wanted to have fitness boot camps maybe every month end or every second month, where we could have like a fit night out, or a family picnic, or a family fun day workout thingy, or the possibilities are endless. But if you ask me, what have I done besides create posters and make maybe 2 calls to maybe the stadium manager and couldn't get hold of him, and then got discouraged and then didn't do anything else? What did I do that proved to myself, not even to anyone else, that this is a working formula, or it's not a working formula? Because I've just left it to chance, and I feel like that's not fair to me, because I have this enormous passion for fitness, a passion for community, a passion for wellness, a passion for holistic health and wellness. Like I said, not just the fitness, but with so much passion that is literally burning my soul down. It's no longer a flame. At this point, my entire soul is on fire. Even speaking about it just makes me so happy. But why am I not speaking about it? Why did I just create a website and an e-store and packages only to sit on it? Why is it that I'm not shouting at the top of my lungs, telling people about this it's not even new, telling people about this great thing I have that I feel like could benefit them? Because fitness has changed my life, not just in a physical sense, but I feel like I'm more sane. My mental health is more balanced when there's fitness in my day-to-day life. But that can't just be me. Why is it that I'm not telling the next person about it? And you know what? At this point, I'll just, please, Leskaba mad at me. And I'm also trying to extend grace to myself, but I feel like at some point I'm just being silly, because there is such a thing as too much grace. And I feel like that's what's going on now, because I don't have tangible reasons as to why I'm not doing these things, especially because now I have that freedom of time that I was always crying about. Like, when I was still working my 8 to 5, you best believe I'd wake up in the morning, early in the morning, and I'd have my own workout, and then I'd go to work. Then I'd normally get to work like 30 minutes early. In the 30 minutes, I would draft, edit, and publish a new blog post, right? And then I would work throughout the whole entire day. And then when I knock off, I'd get home, record a YouTube video, and then fetch baby boy from school, and I would have cooked by then somehow. And then at 6 p.m. would normally have our live virtual workouts with the team. And then I would go back to attending to my baby. In the midst of all of that, I would also record a podcast episode and publish it. And I'd still find time to do all these things. So I'm so mad at myself. I'm mad at myself, but something's gotta give, man. Something's gotta give. I don't know if I'm lacking the motivation, if I'm being spoiled, if I'm being silly, if I'm waiting for my confidence to arrive in the mail. And you know what, with all of those, I just feel like at the end of the day, it comes down to me. How bad do I want this, and why do I keep selling myself short? And the answer will shock you. The answer as to why maybe sometimes I don't make noise about the stuff I do, or why I make a little bit of noise, and why I keep it safe. It might shock you, but believe it or not, everyone's scared of failing. I'm scared of failing. And I think more than anything, I think that you've started on your own. I think that's literally your own baby. It is even that much scarier to fail, because it's just you, it's all on you, and if it falls flat, then it's all on you. But I think it's all about learning how to embrace failure. As I said in my previous video, that you know what, some of us are married to failure and we shouldn't be, and you know what, we need to stop it. We really need to stop it. We need to stop it. We need to stop it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Why do we sell ourselves short like this? But yeah, this is just a ramble, and it's just like I'm just telling on myself, because maybe with me coming out public like this, I'll then start to take accountability and do what I need to do. I'll do what needs to be done, you know, to find the parts. The parts won't find themselves, but here I am just sitting expecting the parts to find themselves. But yeah, so thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Thrive Out Loud. As always, it's a pleasure sitting here sharing a little bit of me with you, one episode at a time. A reminder about the house rules, and here we like, comment, subscribe, click on the bell notification, and tell a friend to tell another friend to tell another friend to bring on some popcorn, because take it. But thank you so much once again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.